Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining. Now, in today's episode, we're going to do some trades, okay? It's time to bring in some more Spuds, and it's time to trade out some players that are going to score 150 this week once we trade them out. Just coming down! Now, the first thing we have to do is balance the team. Now, when I say balance, we look at the defense first and look at the bench, and we have a 104 sitting there doing nothing, okay? And we have two rookies on field scoring 80 and 89. They're doing something. So how do we get this 104 on field? Well, the answer is Roberts, okay? Now, Roberts has a break even. Okay, let's have a look. Roberts, a break even. Okay, once I click on it, we're going to find out. It's 125. Now, he's already made for us nothing, a 35k, which is peanuts. So he's done his job, okay? Now, we never brought in Roberts as a keeper. He was never going to be in our team at the end of the year, okay? He was just there as a placeholder. We didn't know who else to bring. We didn't have cash. We brought in Spuds, okay? We started with Roberts, Perryman, and Short. Now, Perryman and Short have gone. And now it's time for Roberts to go. So, the result here is all these 450k players, that didn't work out. And we actually knew this before it started. The only one that actually worked out, we didn't bring him in. It's Lachie Ash, okay? Had we started Lachie Ash instead of the other three Spuds, we might have gone somewhere, but we didn't do that. No, we brought the free Spuds instead. Because why bring in a good player when we could have Spuds? Just come down. So, Roberts is a gone. Okay, is a gone ski because we want to put Reed on field now. So, luckily, we have Stone here, which we can push there. We can sub Stone. No, I didn't want to trade out Stone. Okay, what happened there? Okay, no, sub Stone back there. Okay, let's just do this trade. Actually, no, we still got to do a trade here. So let's bring in now the player from Sydney. Now, this player is locked in. So no matter what happens with all my trades, this first trade is a lock for me, okay? So we're just going to go top scores, and Cleary comes in. We're going to lock this trade, all right? So this trade is locked. We get to the next part now, the second trade. What do? We got 349k, and we know for a fact that there is a player that plays for West Coast that is a must-have. I have to bring him in. We look at Henderson. Okay, now Henderson has a break-even of 55. He's scoring so far. All right, he scored a 55 only once. Okay, then he scored a 72. Then the last 3 games he's gone downhill. Okay, he's getting worse. Okay, probably next game he's gonna score a 6. So Henderson is cooked, in other words, okay? So he's got no more cash to make. We have Armstrong, who's doing nothing. He's actually got no cash. He's made nothing as well. What's he made? He's made 12k, okay? So we're very excited with his 12k. He got injured, so we can't blame him for that. So Henderson and Armstrong are both problems, okay? We have Davidson here. What's he done? Okay, he's got a break-even of 60. Now, the thing with Davidson is he's playing against St Kilda at Marvel. Okay, the last time he played at Marvel, he scored a 129. Mind you, the previous time he played at Marvel, he scored a 39. So that doesn't mean that a 129 and a 39. Maybe if you go in between here, 129 and 30, so it's a 40 and it's a 170. So the average is about 85. Okay, if you look at the average. So at the end of the day, if he scores even a 70, he's going to make nothing, okay, maybe 5k, but we're not getting him for that 5k. The reason we're going to get him is scoring a 70, he's still going to make some cash, but we're probably going to trade him out next week regardless. So let's keep him there for now, okay? Let's get rid of Henderson, okay? I think Henderson is a problem, okay? Now, Henderson goes out. The next player that's going to be locked in, okay, and that's going to be in all my trades, and that's going to be let's get over here, and that's going to be Gross. So Gross is locked in, Henderson out. Complete the trade. Now we have how much left? We've got 402k left, okay? Now for all my other trades, there's going to be different options, possibly around about 6 or 7 different options now. Now, the question is, which one do we pick? Because we're not changing those first 2 trades. They're locked in. We are going to use our last boost. Okay, so we have no more boosts left, but I don't need these boosts because these boosts are getting me in trouble anyway because I'm just bringing more Spuds in. I'm trading out players that are scoring 150s, 130s, 120s. So by having now less boosts, I can't trade out my 130 scoring players anymore. So the damage is done. At least I get to keep all my 130 scoring players because having trades is actually is dangerous for me because I get excited. I trade out good players. Well, they're Spuds at the time, but when they get traded out, they become studs. So who do we bring in now? And who do we trade out? Okay, now Armstrong is the obvious choice. If we trade out Armstrong, okay, let's trade out Armstrong, okay. Let's push Hanley into the forward line. Let's push Nevitt into the midfield. This now gives us a flex spot, okay. At 528k, what is available? Okay, players I can afford. This is keeping Davidson. Okay, so we're going to keep Davidson for this. What can I afford at 528k? Now, we've got Lachie Ash as one option. Okay, let's dig into Lachie Ash. And let's have a look at his season stats. Now, he scored a 122 against Collingwood. That's actually a decent score. He scored an 80 against Melbourne, which is not a good score. I'm going to work out why he only scored 80. 95 against Hawthorn, which is okay. 130 against West Coast, which is actually very good considering that West Coast usually don't attack much. So that's a very good score. And a 137 against St Kilda is actually decent as well, considering the ground he played on and Whitfield didn't score. So these scores are decent. So what happened in round 1? Let's find out. Now, to get the round 1 info, I'm going to go to footy info because I don't know how to do it on fan footy. I don't know how to get to round 1. Okay, there's nothing here that tells me how to do it. So I'm going to get now to fan footy, all right, and go 2025. All right, we're in 2025. Okay, and we're going to go to round 1. Okay, round 1. Now, a GWS, where is he? Okay, where's GWS? Okay, why can't I find it? GWS. What's happened here? Where's GWS? Okay, what? Oh, there it is here. Against Carlton. No, is this right? 2025, GWS against Carlton. Ash scored the 125, so round 2. Not round 1. Okay, round 0. Okay, that was the one. Against Collingwood. Actually, round 0, Ash scored 122. What's happening here? Okay, round 1. What did Ash score? GWS didn't play. Yes, it did. Melbourne. Okay, GWS Melbourne. All right, we're getting places now. GWS. Where's Ash? Okay, he had 10 kicks, 9 handballs. So it's 19 disposals. Scored 80 Supercoach points, 80 fantasy points, time on ground. Okay, so he had 19 disposals this game. Whitfield had 34 disposals. I want to check the defence. Himmelberg had 22 disposals. The defenders, all right, where are they? Buckley only had 10 disposals. I'd say from the looks of it, Melbourne didn't attack much, okay? What did Melbourne score? 11 goals, 8, okay? Well, they only lost by 3 points. It was a close game. Probably Melbourne's best game for the year. So, Ash didn't score. That's worrying. Now, in round 2, who did Ash play? Where's GWS? Okay. Round 2, GWS didn't play. Okay, round 3, GWS played Hawthorn. Okay, now what did Ash do in this game? 15 kicks, 14 handballs, 29 disposals. The previous one was only 20 disposals. So 29 disposals gave him 95 Supercoach points. It's not easy to get 29 disposals in a game, okay? Now, keep in mind, Whitfield had 34 and only scored 109. So 29, okay, 29 disposals doesn't come easily, okay? Now, round 4, what did Ash do? GWS versus West Coast. Okay, this is 180-point smashing. Okay, now, Ash in this game had 31 disposals. Whitfield had 35. Okay, and Ash, for his 31 disposals, scored the 130. All right. And the following week, in round 5, which is last week, what did Ash do? Okay, against St Kilda. Ash again had 30. So he's getting 30. He needs 33 disposals a game, all right, to get his Supercoach points, 137. You can see here, Whitfield only had the 24 disposals and scored the 86. So both Whitfield and Ash need to have about 35 touches a game. The chances are Whitfield will get these touches, Ash may not. Now we go to kick-ins, okay? Now this is important because in round 0, he had 6 kick-ins, and that game he scored 100 plus, okay? Round 1, where he only scored 80, he only had 1 kick-in. In round 3, had 5 kick-ins, so that's a bonus 20 points. Well, actually bonus 16, he's only played on 4 of them. So Whitfield's getting most of the kick-ins, but Ash was getting a few. But now it looks like Ash is getting none of them, okay? Because Himmelberg is getting a few now, and then the next, the top dog is Whitfield. So let's go to his heat maps. Now, taking note here, last year he also played halfback flank, okay? So you can have a look at his heat maps from last year. They're the same position, halfback flank. Nothing's changed, okay? So, keeping that in mind, last year his scores have been, 66, 81, 82, 97, 88, 77. They're very low. There are a couple of big ones, as you can see here. And those big ones correlate to a lot of disposals. 23 disposals, 26, 19, 18, 21, 20, 26 disposals. He scored 97. 23 disposals, only an 81. He needs 30 touches a game. You can see here, 33 touches. Scored the 137. I don't think Ash can get 33 touches every week. Okay, history says he hasn't done it. I understand a few players may have left GWS, but they've still got other players that replaced them. So, can he get 30 touches a game? Maybe he's going to get 20 touches a game or 25. I'm going to pass on Ash for this reason. It's just too risky. So if Ash isn't going to take that spot at 528k or under, who else is there? Okay, now we've got Connor Rozee. Okay, now we just sacked him. Okay, now with Connor Rozee, all right, I mean, the reason we sacked him last week was because he had scored a 64 and a 76, and then he was going to come up against Hawthorn, who also tag, and Sydney that tag, and also maybe even North Melbourne tag, because they actually use Parker right now. So I wasn't ready for another two or three tags, and possibly a price drop with a break even of 166. So we sacked him for that reason. But now he's playing halfback. Now, what's he going to score at halfback? All right, we just saw what Lachie Ash done, okay? But Lachie Ash plays more of a defensive role. Connor Rozee is more of an attacking halfback. So who's an attacking halfback we can compare him to that can go well? Let's go to Collingwood. Now, we're going to go to Dan Houston because he used to play for Port and play in the same position. So this is the perfect example of what we're expecting him to score. Now, we've got to keep in mind, all right? We're going to go to 2024. Go to 2024, go to Port Adelaide. All right? Kick-ins. Dan Houston. How many did he have? Well, he had 4, 7, 2, 4, 5, 7, 2, 5, 7, 8, 4, 2. There's games where he only had 1 kick-in. All right? Round 8, round 9. Okay? Even round 7, 8, 9, 10. All right? Let's check these scores because I want to compare him to a player that doesn't have a lot of kick-ins because I don't think Rosee's going to have 7, 8 kick-ins, okay? I think he's going to have maybe 1 or 2, okay? Similar to what Houston had these games. So, round 7, 8, 9, and 10. What did Rozee score? All right, let's find out. Round 7, Rozee scored 107. Then he scored a 98. Then he scored an 89. And round 10, he scored a 148. Then he scored a 77, then he scored a 98, then a 174, then a 102, a 59. These are the kind of scores that halfbacks score. They either go nuts, okay, as you can see here, 148, or they score this 89, 93, 77. Actually, goals, okay, in that 148 he kicked 3 goals, okay. We saw on the weekend, we saw 2 goals kicked. And probably this 148 game, it was probably a close game. It was against Hawthorn. It was actually a close game. And probably it got massive scaling as well in these games. We saw on the weekend, Rozee kicked 2 goals for his 137, similar to a 3-goal game for a 148. Without the goals, you're seeing here, 89, 93, 107, without much kick-ins. This is what worries me with Rozee and his new role. I actually prefer Rozee in his old role, and I wasn't comfortable with the old role because he got tagged. So the new role actually worries me more than the old role, okay? Believe it or not, okay? Even though he looked good in that new role, scored really well, those 2 goals that he kicked, halfbacks don't score 130s every week when they don't take the kick-ins, okay? We saw Whitfield on the weekend. He scored an 86 and he took the kick-ins. So they're going to have off games. And when they don't take the kick-ins, those off games are going to be really bad, okay? A score like a 59, you can tell. And Rozee was, Houston was an attacking half-back, okay? So for me, Rozee is not in the question. Because if I'm going to get Rozee, okay, I might as well go to Adelaide and get Rory Laird. He does the same job, okay? Rory Laird's also what you call a defender, plays halfback with no kick-ins. And Rory Laird scores, you can see them here. He's got a 124, but he's also got an 89, okay? 101. It's going to be inconsistent, these halfbacks, okay? They're going to be up and down, okay? Especially with no kick-ins, because they don't get the bonus points. You see here a 50 out, but he got subbed out, but that's a 3/4 time. So he was 50 out until 3/4 time before he got subbed out. So Rory Laird at halfback, Rozee at halfback is the same thing. Although Rozee probably a bit more attacking, but it doesn't mean you get more points because you're attacking, because Rory Laird also gets a lot of points being more defensive because he's always in the action. So I'm not sure, okay, for a non-attack, with a non-kick player doesn't take the kick-ins at halfback, I have no interest, okay, so he's out of the question. Right, so who's next, okay, now, is there anyone else? Well, there's Dale, okay, but Dale is going to lose cash, okay, his break-even's 131, okay, he's got games coming up. If he scores a big 122 against the Saints, which he could, okay, could go to 512. Or I should say drop to 512. Then plays GWS. Probably gets cops a tag in this game. Maybe cops a tag. We don't know. Maybe not. But still, I had Daly last year. I wasn't happy with him. And you can see why. He scores the odd 68. Then he scores a 120. That was why I didn't like him last year. So he's out of the question. Now, who else is there? Okay, there's still side bottom, but it's too old. Okay, I can't trust. So no side bottom for me. There's Saligo, probably not. Virtually at the 528k range, there's nothing. Okay, unless you go for the horny man, bring him back. Okay, and that is one possibility because we made the mistake with the horny man. Okay, his average. We traded out the horny man to bring in Smith, okay, but no complaints about Smith, but we didn't think the horny man was going to go nuts, so he's gone nuts. But we've traded him out. I'm not going to bring him back in, all right? If he averages 100, he'll be 500k, so he's going to be at the same price anyway. I can get him same price anytime. This big score, so if you go here, all right, if you type in 100 average, all right, projects, you can still get him at 520k at any time. He's going to go up this week, but there's a score here of 153 in a cycle. That will drop out. It's held to 119. His price will drop back down again. So there's no rush for the horny man, okay? Because this way I can see whether I like Warner or if I like Petracca. Speaking of Petracca, he is the other option. Do I bring in Petracca this week? Go to Melbourne. All right, I'm going to go look at Petracca. Okay, do I bring him in this week? And with Petracca, he's got good games coming up. He's going to play against Freo, which is not a good game, but the next two are, which is Richmond and West Coast. So Petracca has a break-even of 100, and he'll probably... He hasn't scored 100 yet, so maybe he won't get it, but he could be getting it because Petracca is actually getting more mid-time. if you look at CBAs, in round one, he had 81%, okay? But then it dropped the next 3 games, 48, 52, and 50. And then last week, well, just gone by against Essendon, he had 65% CBAs. So it's on the up. So if he goes at 65 every week, let's have a look at Petracca with 65% CBAs. What does he normally average, okay, in previous years? But keep in mind, Petracca just can't kick the ball. So let's go 65 plus CBAs. And what is he averaging, okay? 65, okay, 65. We're not going to count the 63. It has to be, actually, let's go 60% and above, all right? Let's go all the 60s. 60 and above. Okay, we're not going to take 59. Okay, so 60 and above. Okay, until, 2023. He hasn't done many 60s, okay? 60s above here. He's averaging 108. That's decent, okay? So 108's decent. That's over 15 games. So the role is there for him, okay? And it's not like his kicking's gone worse or better, but the problem is Melbourne were probably a better team in 2023 and 2024 than what they are in 2025. So when he spends time forward, probably doesn't get as much action, although they do enter 50 a lot, just don't kick goals. So maybe he does get action. So he is an option, okay? Petracca is a good option as well. Who else is there? And Petracca's a good price. I mean, if you look at 480k, that's a good deal, okay? Considering he's got 2 big games coming up after this week. Because you could say you can get him the following week, all right? Let's say you want to get him the following week, but the following week you're going to have other bargains there. You're going to have Stewart at 460k. So he is worth getting, all right? Now, if we go further down, who else is there, okay? Now, Simkin, 468k, all right, with a break even. I mean, he's only up 39k from his starting price, and he's scored 1, 2, 3, 4 100s in 5 games. It's only that 62 that's staled his price making. Now, he's probably going to lose some cash this week, okay? So you can probably pick him up cheaper next week, but I don't know if Simkin's going to be a top 6, and I really want top 6 when it comes to your forwards because it's vital, I think. So probably pass on Simkin. Is there anyone else? Okay, there's players like Cripps. Okay, now Cripps has a break even. Have a look at Cripps' break even. All right, it's where is it? Break even 132. Cripps will be 490k next week. There are so many bargains, but I wouldn't even touch Cripps. Okay, because he's scoring 120, 108, 84. 56, 114. And he played full forward this game, the 114. I don't know what's wrong with Cripps, okay? It looks like they're gonna play him full forward, so probably no Cripps. Is there anyone? Who else is there? There's Tim English at an unbelievable price of 523k, and I'm not even interested, okay? This is a 700k player started last year. 700k, people paid this money for him. Now, what's he scored? 58, 113, 81, 107, he hasn't done nothing, okay? He plays Marshall, plays Briggs, then he plays Port Adelaide. He's a pass also, okay? There's nothing that I like, okay? That's the problem. The only one I like so far is Petracca, okay, out of this list. Rowan Marshall, okay? Let's take a look at Rowan Marshall. Break even at 196. He's going to lose another 50k this week. And he's going to drop to 460k. You can pick up a Rowan Marshall the following week for 430k. Unbelievable discounts, okay? So, and because Rowan Marshall is going to be so cheap, I can't get a Ruckmen because I want this spot for a Ruckmen, okay? Because who else going to put a flex? I can't put a player like Rowan Marshall in any other position. It has to be a flex unless I get rid of one of these two, which I'm not going to do. So at the moment, maybe the Conning I will eventually. Depends what Pitternet does. But this spot here is for Marshall. Okay, so we can't put a Ruckman there. The only other option is we don't trade out Armstrong. All right. Resets. We don't trade out Armstrong. Instead, we trade out Davidson. Now, by trading out Davidson, things change. Okay, now let's move these around and go back to the flex because now we've got six. We can get any player we want now. 695k. Now, who do we want? We can get anyone. Okay, so who do we like? Okay, now, well, I like McCluggage. I wish I got him last week. Okay, but he's too expensive now. I'm not paying 600k for anyone. Okay, so out of the question. I mean, we got Brayshaw last week at under 600k. Now he's over 600k. So we got Sinclair at under 600k. Now we got him at 590. So we wanted. It's the idea is to save cash. Okay, buy cheap, buy low, sell high. Okay, so Sinclair is a no. The only players that I really like are Holmes. Okay, I like Max Holmes. But Max Holmes has a tough draw. Okay, plays Hawthorn and then plays Carlton. And now we know Hawthorn, they're going to tag. We know, although the tag didn't really work against Port Adelaide, so maybe the tag isn't that good, although this is supposed to be good. We know Carlton, they may tag. Collingwood won't tag, so he may do well against Collingwood. The following week, he plays GWS. They're going to tag him. So I can wait on Holmes, get him after. So forget about Holmes. Caleb Serong is one I like. Okay, now Caleb Serong is 34k cheaper and has a good draw coming up. Okay, although he does have one tag coming up there against St Kilda, maybe even a Melbourne tag. They tag now as well, so we don't know if they're going to tag him. But he hasn't really set the world on fire, has he? 102, 99, 10. He's been consistent. Okay, he's had one massive game. But the rest have been, and against Richmond, a 103, that's not really impressive. So, Serong, he can wait. Okay, there's no rush for Serong. Who are we going to rush for? Who is there? Well, if you go to Collingwood, there's Daicos. Okay, now, and this is probably everyone's favourite right now, Nick Daicos. We're getting him 46k cheaper. Got a high break-even, so 121. Okay, and he's going to play against the Lions. Okay, the last time he played the Lions, what did he score? Okay, he scored a 116. But look at the next two games. The last time he played Essendon, he scored a 92. The last time he played Geelong, scored an 89. Got tagged both those games. So if he scores the same as this, all right, 116, 92, 89. Okay, so let's go 116. 92, say 89, okay? What's his price? Well, you can get him cheaper, okay? You can get him at 560k in round 8 or start at round 9. Possibly even with a break even to 126, which you should get. So you can get Daicos cheaper as well, okay? Believe it or not, if he does the same thing, okay? Now, and that's if they tag him, which I'm sure Geelong's going to tag Daicos, and I'm sure Essendon will as well. So there's no rush on Daicos. Okay, so who are we going to get? Okay, that's the question. We're not going to get a Ruckmen. Okay, so Gawn's out of the question now because of Marshall. So no Gawn, no Daicos. And we're not going to pick up these bargain-based players like from Sydney, Warner, because it's too early. Okay, so we're not going to pick up players like Chad Warner because his break-even is 163. I can get him later on. There's no rush. Okay, Chad Warner's price. If he scores, let's say, give him 100 every week, okay, 100 project his score, get him about 470k next week, okay? So there's no rush on Warner. So it's very confusion right now on who to get. Now, I can get Wanganeen-Milera, okay? Break-even is 83. It gone up only 23k. He's produced the goods this year, okay, Milera. Have a look at his scores. 96, 113, 110, 123, 133. But this 133 game, he kicked the 3 goals. Okay, actually, he kicked the goal against Port Adelaide as well. So he's probably a 110 player, which is still decent. But keep in mind, this 110 was against Richmond. Okay, now, the only problem with Wanganeen-Milera is I don't know which position he's playing now. Okay, let's have a look at his heat maps. Well, he's still taking kick-ins. He's got 4 kick-ins. Sinclair's got 6. But if you look at his heat map, so I mean the 4 kicking is about, if he takes 4 or 5 kickings, that's 20 points a bonus a week, every week. So that's a good thing. Now, where's he playing? the previous week against Port Adelaide, where did he play? Let's have a look against Port Adelaide. You can see here, halfback, attacking halfback, okay? That's a good thing. But last week, this is not the same role Wanganeen-Milera had in previous weeks, okay? Have a look at the previous week. That's Milera's role, halfback, attacking. Last week, he played on the wing, okay? I don't want to I don't want to have a player that's a winger. And from what I'm seeing now, they've switched Wanganeen-Milera's role to the wing. That's worrying, okay? Maybe he plays halfback as well, but I don't like this wing position. It's a very scary for me. So for this reason, I want to see him again now, okay? I want to see him a lot more, maybe 2 more weeks out of him. So I'm not rushing on Wanganeen-Milera. Now I'm going to put Davidson back in there again. Okay, reset. Davidson can go back there, okay? I'm going to try out Armstrong one more time, okay? I'm going to gamble this week, okay? This week it's going to be a gamble. I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put Hanley into the forward line. All right. Now, I wouldn't do this move if I was ranked in the top 1,000. Okay. I'm ranked top 16,000 or 14,000, whatever it is. Okay. Actually, I can't remember what it was. What am I ranked? Let's have a look. Okay, once it catches up, we're going to find out. Rank 14,007, say 15,000, okay? Now, we've got 10,100 points, just say, 10,100. Now, if we go to leagues, okay, go to leagues. I want to go to a league that hasn't got many teams in there because I don't want to scroll too far down. I'm going to go to the Richmond Forum, okay? And this is, they only got 200 teams in there. The reason I'm going here, I want to see the difference between 10,100 points, all right, and a top 1,000. How far behind am I? Okay, they're going to find out once it loads up. Okay, so we're waiting for it to load up now. And if we have a look, the team that's ranked 268 has got, it's got 400 points more than me. All right, ranked 268. So I'm only 400 points behind a team that's ranked 268. 400 points is nothing, okay? This week I lost 200 points. So to make up 400 points is not that hard, okay? If I go to the top, say 1,000, all right, 1,200, I'm only 280 points behind top 1,000. So we're not that far behind, even though we have been taking out players that are scoring 150s, okay, trading them out, we're still within range. So what we're going to do, all right, go back to my team. We're going to gamble, okay? Now, we're going to trade out Armstrong. We're going to put Hanley into the forward line. And we're going to go to Collingwood, okay? This is a big gamble, okay? I would say, if you're going to do this move, you're not doing this move because you think it's going to work. You're doing this move because you're desperate, okay? And sometimes desperation is the answer, okay? So Ned Long, okay, he scores. The 113, okay? And these are all sub-games. 30, 57, 26, and a 114. However, this sub-game here, he had a lot of time on ground. Okay, that's a problem against the Western Bulldogs. He actually played a lot of minutes. Okay, now, if we go to, let's go over here. I'm going to go to round 2, Collingwood and Western Bulldogs. Okay, and look for Ned Long. Now, how much time on ground did he have? What does this 44 mean? Is that his number? Okay, that's his number. Okay, forget about 44. That's his number. Okay, now he had 5 kicks, 8 handballs this game. All right, so 13 disposals, and he had 75% time on ground. That's worrying. Okay, 75% time on ground, and he had 50% CBA. So he had a lot of CBAs this game as well. So this is a big risk. Scored 57 Supercoach points. This could be disaster. 13 disposals with 75% time on ground. Actually, I'm not going to do it. Okay, forget I mentioned it. I'm not going to do it. So what we are going to do is going to be this. Okay, now we need the cash. We don't have enough from Armstrong, okay, because I'm going to bring in one of the two, one of the three. I've got three options now. I've narrowed it down. Okay, now I'm going to either take out Nevitz and bring in from Melbourne, Max Gawn. That's option one. Now, I didn't want to bring in a Ruckmen into flex. However, with the conning, we're not sure what role he's going to play. We might have to trade him out next week. Okay, now Max Gawn's break even. Okay, if you have a look at Max Gawn's break even, it's at 81. All right, so if we switch the conning to Max Gawn next week, we're going to lose cash. Okay, so it's not going to work because the conning, Max Gawn's going to go up in price. Whereas if we don't get Gawn this week, okay, this is, keep in mind the conning, because we have to plan for the conning now. Because if we don't get Gawn, all right, we're going to get Daicos, okay? However, Daicos has a break-in of 120. We can always swap the conning to Daicos if the conning's not performing. That's probably the better option. So, and the other option is back to Melbourne again, and it's going to bring in Petracca. But there's no rush on Petracca because he's going to pretty much stay at his price anyway. Well, maybe not, okay? We could also bring in Petracca next week too. We can watch him bring in Petracca next week if we have to. So, I think the right play this week is to bring in Gawn as the backup ruckman, knowing that the conning may not fulfill his scores, especially if we have Pitiner in the team, and the conning can actually score 60s. We don't know what he's going to do. So with this in mind, these will be my trades. Okay, so we're going to bring in Gawn. Okay, and preparing for the conning next week. So our trades are going to be like this. We have Gross, Cleary, and Gawn coming in. We have Roberts, Henderson, and Nevitz going out. Now, I can guarantee you one thing right now. It's guaranteed, okay? And that's Roberts is going to score 150, okay? And Henderson will go score 100, and Nevitz will go nuts. 120 from Nevitz. It's locked in the bag. Just coming down. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for joining, and remember one thing. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.
That's all, folks.